I'm Drake. Welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real metaphysical and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. Real quick, before we get to the video, I'd like to remind you to check out our online community as well as our online School of Magic at workingdragonmystic.com. Just head on over there and check them out. I'm sure you'll find a lot of great resources there for your path. Also, there will be links below. Hope to see you there. Now, let's get on with the
Is
video.
it? Number one, when we talk about the Fae, are we talking about stuff like Tinkerbell, or is there more to it? Like with modern fairy tale, where there's like different types of fairies and different like caliber of fairy, if you will.
Um, the Fae as a whole is a very fascinating topic. And that's because technically everything you listed off can be considered accurate. Because when we say Fae, that is a massive grouping of magical beings. And I do mean massive. And some people would say that almost any magical being can be lumped into the fairy courts. And that would include elemental beings, nature spirits, elves, pixies, gnomes, some would even actually group in hellhounds into that grouping. And the reason for this is, you said they do magic. Well, if you work with Fae and you spend any time talking to them, they will quickly correct you. They don't do magic. They are magic. They are literally primal embodiments of magic. They do magic like we breathe. It is just that natural to them. And people have been trying to classify them for probably, as far as I can tell, ever since mankind's been writing stuff down. And depending on where you are and how you're approaching them and what time of year it is and even what time of day, their mood switches. So the stories become very, very varied. At this point, most people would agree that the Fae can be broken into two primary categories, and that's going to be the light Fae and the dark Fae. And each of them are kind of their own society or court, if you will. They're usually referred to as courts. And the light Fae, also referred to as the summer Fae, primarily are the Fae you'll run into during the light half of the year. So we're coming up on Yule, which is the winter solstice. That is the darkest night of the year. That would be the end of the dark phase time as it moves into the lighter half of the year. And then midsummer, at the longest day of the year, you got the exact opposite. So the year is kind of split between the two that way.
Okay, so you said that there is a difference between light and dark Fae. Can you go into like what the differences are? I understand like what kind of magic they would be producing, I'm assuming. But I mean, like, what creatures or what creatures would be associated with being a dark Fae or a light Fae? Like, is that kind of like a hellhound would be a dark Fae and a pixie is a light Fae, or
Well,
can they be interchangeable?
Some of the Fae you'll find on both sides. Like, you will find pixies on both sides. You'll find gnomes on both sides. You'll find elves on both sides. Hellhounds, you probably won't find those in the light Fae. But there is something that they refer to it as a Fae hound. And other than a slightly better appearance, it's a hellhound. I mean, it has the same job. It's a guard dog. It protects certain areas, and as long as you're not messing with its area, it's just a chill dog. But like any guard dog, you come into its area, it'll eat you alive.
So he's just a puppy.
Yeah, he's just a puppy doing his job. Now, personality-wise, is when I've worked with them, their personality seems to be where they differ. The Light Fae definitely are more upbeat. They're more friendly, hyper. They're very fleeting. They get distracted very easily. The Light Fae definitely have attention deficit shiny disorder.
Shiny.
Yeah. Whereas the Dark Fae, they do come off colder. And they're a bit more calculating. They're a bit more. They live more. They live their life like playing a chess game as opposed to dealing with their emotions. But on the other side of that is when you do make them mad, their emotions is like getting hit by the full force of a hurricane in one instant. So
Interesting.
They actually differ more in their personalities because it's like they embody the if you looked at the aspects of nature during those time periods that they're primarily in charge, their personalities kind of mirror and reflect that.
Okay. By the way, welcome to the stream, Clappy, and I'm assuming that's Trevor with his awesome name changing up all the times, but yes, there's always coffee present on this channel. I'm drinking cold brew right now.
I'm drinking skulls.
Hell yeah. See, I knew it was you, Trevor. Okay, so we talked about how a pet could be a familiar. Can a pet be also associated with the Fae?
Yeah, they can, though when we cut stream last week, you threw a curveball at me. That was one I had not heard. You mentioned corgis as battle mounts for fairies.
Yes.
Which I will not lie, I looked that up. And I don't know how over all these years, because when I looked it up, it's like everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know what a corgi was until maybe 3 years ago.
Was it because of me?
I don't know which happened first. I don't know if it was you or World of Warcraft just started putting those little short pets in the game.
Yes, the fire corgi is my favorite.
I mean, it's a shame to see the game go downhill the way it did, but so I don't know if you had the corgi first or if I was just like, well, that dog has short legs, and I just thought it was an artistic choice they made. And then, so imagine my surprise when I was like, oh, that's a real dog.
Well, I've had Star for 5 years now, so
there's a fair chance it was your fault.
Okay, so for those of you who are unaware of what the hell we're talking about, corgis, if you guys are familiar with my dog, Star, they are from Wales. They are a European breed of dog. They are a herding dog. There is a lot of Welsh lore around them because they have this thing on their shoulders. It's just a giant tuft of fur, and the Welsh have claimed that as their fairy saddle, meaning that somehow, some way, in the fairy courts, they ride corgis into battle. There's actually there's a book called The Corgi Chronicles, and it's just a cute little fictional book about how corgis are, they're your pet by day, but by night they answer the call of their fairy riders, and they go forth and, they do as they need to do. So far, Star has not escaped at night, so I'm pretty sure she is, a wild corgi in that regard. So, I think I see her little bomb at the bottom of the stairs right now. So.
But yeah, animals definitely do have.
Trevor, I feel like you've changed your name before. Maybe it was Clappy.
But they definitely do have associations with the Fae. Cats usually get the most credit. Hounds also get a heavy amount of credit because of Morgan Le Fay, the goddess the Morgan, who is sometimes referred to as Queen of the Fae. If you do research on Queen Mab, she loves hounds. So a lot of these Fae goddesses and entities tend to love dogs, but it's usually a hound.